Welcome to Bible Study with Fred, where I'm reading from my comments on the book of Job, which you can purchase on Amazon.com in paperback or Kindle form, or just follow me here. Um, Subscribe to my channel if you're of a mind. And we'll begin starting in Job chapter 7. So, Job 7 to 16. Oh, remember that my life is wind, mine eyes shall no more see good. The eye of him that hath seen me shall see me no more. Thine eyes are upon me, and I am not. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away, so he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. He shall return no more to his house, neither shall his place know him any more. Therefore I will not refrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? When I say, my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint, then thou scarest me with dreams, terrifiest me through visions, so that my soul chooses strangling and death rather than my life. I loathe it. I would not live alway. Let me alone, for my days are vanity. Now, James will write in James 4:14, whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and vanisheth away. King David said in Psalm 39:4 and 5, Lord, make me to know mine end and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am. Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and mine ages as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah. Maskell wrote, Psalm 89:47, remember how short my time is. Wherefore hast thou made all men in vain? Peter said, First Peter 1:24, for all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man is as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. Excuse me. Job is certain that he's seen the last of any goodness in this life, and that life holds nothing more for him. He's going to die, he hopes, and those that know him will not see him again. The dead have nothing to say, no more part to play in this life, except by the memory of them which grows dimmer with passing time. In a couple of generations, for the common man at least, it will be as if you never existed, as you are forgotten, and those who remember you will go down to the grave. We try to have power over others after our death with legal instruments like wills and life insurance, but we really have nothing to say about what goes on when we're gone. So if you want to express your opinion or play with your toys, stick around. Solomon considered in his contemplation on the meaning of life that the dead are not, as popular belief would have it, watching over us from heaven. Ecclesiastes 9:4. For to him that is joined to all the living there is hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, and the dead know not anything. I'm sorry. Neither have they any more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love, their hatred, and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Consider, though, how Paul appears to say something a bit different in the context of talking to the Jewish Christians of his time about the faithful Old Testament saints. Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So you have those two conflicting or contrasting views. Job here, and I'm sure they work together. So Job here in his sorrow and bitterness is not speaking of his resurrection or heaven, but only his relationship to the land of the living. As Solomon muses on death on his way to understanding man's duty and purpose, you cannot draw conclusions from an incomplete thought. Those who say that neither Job nor Solomon believed in life after death are only yanking verses out of context. The proof of Job's belief in a resurrection comes later. Job says in verse 11 that he's not pulling any punches, so to speak. He has a complaint to make, and he's about to address God directly. Here, Job begins his error. It is better to die with prayer and praising on your lips than with complaining and arguing with God. Quote, am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? Psalm 89:9 says, thou rulest the raging of the seas, when the waves thereof arise, thou stillest them. As I said previously, a whale in the Bible represents a large creature, specifically a sea creature. But any large creature, from the whales that we know to a great fish, to a dinosaur formerly called a dragon. Is Job so mighty and powerful, so dangerous and strong, that God must contain him and constrain him, keep him back, dominate him, lest he cause disaster? What's the deal, God? Job says, when I think about resting, if I can just get some sleep, maybe some of this will pass over for a brief time. But you, God, bombard me with nightmares and I cannot get any rest. I'd rather die, he says. I once heard someone who was suffering from the consequences of their sins say, and I'm quoting, I just wish God would leave me alone. Again, Job here is expressing his wish to die. His life is empty now, but he's starting what some do when faced with insurmountable grief and confusion by questioning God's sovereignty and authority over him. People get angry with God when a loved one dies and think that it's all so unfair. How could God do this or allow this to happen to them and their loved one, even if neither party acted like they gave any regard for God when they lived? But even devout Christians can harbor resentment towards God that they don't express. Some stay angry the rest of their lives. So we're going to continue with Job's argument, with his lamentation, with his complaint next, before another one of his friends answers him. Okay, thank you very much. And sorry for the cat.